For a man who stands shoulder to shoulder with working people and social justice, a big plug for Father Bob. Make him welcome.
I'm taking the hat off. Yeah, well, it's like being in church. You have to take the hat off. So that's for standing up for social justice. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do that because I'm going to bloody well fall over any minute now because I'm crippled. Look at this. See what happens to you after a life of virtue. See? So the other way is probably recommended, isn't it? Because you're still walking. What happened to me? So this morning I thought I was leaving my place down there, and the first thing I've got to do is acknowledge the original owners, which we've done, haven't we? Yeah. And then the working class. Yeah. So I've got to acknowledge I'm a life member of the MUA. Look at this. Yeah. They pinned that on me. I didn't nick it. So the second thing is I'd like to acknowledge the ETU, who've been paying my rent for 2 years. And I'd like to acknowledge the CFMEU, who have paid for a food van so we can keep going to feed the poor. So whenever anybody says anything about the unions, I always say, well, excuse me, there's another side to this argument. Right. So without them, I don't think we would have survived, me and my foundation, for 40 years.
That's right.
So we're here today. I was leaving my premises, thanks to the ETU, and I grabbed this thing because they said you have to wear blue and white, didn't they? Yeah. Which is hard for a black and white man. See, good old Collingwood forever. So I grabbed this thing here. As closest to the blue and white I could get. There's a bit of blue on that, isn't there? Yeah. And then they said, can you hold this? Because this is rocking, this thing.
Don't bother not.
I put that on my head. And she said, you can't wear that because that's for church. See what I'm on? I said, well, I'm going to church. She said, where are you going to church? I said, I'm going to the church of the free people. Yeah. And they said, you can't have a church without having a God. And I said, we've got a God, we've got the unknown God. And this is the parish without borders. So they weren't convinced. They said, well, if you go to a church, you're going to have a collection. Do something religious. And I said, no, we're not like that, because we go in there simply and solely to say that the two commandments of the unknown God are, one, thou shalt freely assemble. That's the first one. And the second one is, thou shalt freely express thyself. And if you do that, well, then you've got what the evolution says we're supposed to have reached by now, and that is we've decided to form a commonwealth. That's what the Constitution says. And the unknown God says, well, I think you should start forming a community. Instead of just having a society made up of individuals, all of whom are being preyed on by the consumer society, well, then we need to have a community where we all look after one another. So that's why I'm here today, vulnerable, to simply reassure you that what you're on about is the most important thing for the human family to do right now. And that is to show solidarity where, in the only place where the people, we the people, feel safest, because we're standing outside a place that's called Parliament, and Parliament, as you know who speak French, means to talk. Parler, isn't it? To talk. Now the workers have never felt comfortable inside the place designated as the talking place. They've always, because that was always the squatters. The squatters were in there talking amongst themselves about how to make more money. That's what it was in the old days. But these days, you see, the workers are simply continuing the right that they have, and if the right is taken away from them, they turn into somebody looking for power. And as we know, power corrupts. And all power, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and we don't want that. We want to be peaceable, and we want to be respectful, and we want to show that there's a new way, which is being launched today on the steps of the Parliament, reminding those inside that we in fact are the legislators, we the people. So I thank you for the privilege of being part of this, because as far as I'm concerned, if you were looking for a spiritual experience, not a religious experience because that's gone, looking for a spiritual experience, well, you have it where the people gather together. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, says the unknown God, I'm there. So I'm perfectly happy to be here rather than in a spiky place called a cathedral. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Another clap and a cheer for Father Bob.